The next topic is types of contracts. So we have types of contracts on three categories. One is based on your validity, formation and performance. Yeah. So what do you mean by validity? Whether the contract is valid or not. Yeah. So what are the different types of contracts under valid contracts? One is void, voidable, illegal. We'll see what is everything in detail now. Based on formation, how a contract is formed. That is, how are you getting into a contract? So based on how the contract is formed, there are different categories of contracts. The next one, based on performance. What is performance? Whether the contract is performed or not, is yet to perform, or if there is a contract where both the parties has to perform, whether one party has performed or not, whether both the parties are yet to perform or not. So contracts based on performance. Yeah. So three categories. One is validity, second one is performance, and the other one is formation. Yeah. So what is a valid contract? If any contract, it is fulfilling all the elements of section 10, it is a valid contract. What is section 10?
It defines the essential elements.
What are the essential elements of contract? Two parties. Competency. Competency. Lawful object. Little louder. Possibilities. Possibility of performance. Offer and acceptance, that is agreement. Free consent. Competence. Consideration. What was there in that consideration? Was there any legal maxim? Quid pro quo. What does that mean? Awesome. Next. Did we miss something? Lawful object, lawful consideration. Certainty. Yeah. Certainty of performance. Possibility of performance. Capacity of the parties, important one. Yeah. So if a contract is fulfilling all these conditions, it is called as a valid contract. Yeah. So what does that mean? Two majors enter into a contract. It is for a lawful object, lawful consideration. Both of them exchange. One person gives money, one person gives certain, say, some property. It is a valid contract. Yeah. They are fulfilling everything. It is called a valid contract. What is a void contract? Which does not fulfill. Partially correct. What is void contract? Void.
Initially it was legal, but then after a certain point of time, due to some reason, it is not enforceable by law.
Initially it was legal. So for example, I enter into a contract with minor. Was it legal initially?
That's void ab initio.
Void ab initio. So basically what is void? Something initially when you entered into a contract was legal. After a certain point of time it turns to be illegal.
Not illegal necessarily.
Becomes void. So what is that void?
Unenforceable by law.
Which is unenforceable by law. So when you use those terms only, just for that sake I'm telling you, even when you're writing in your answer, you cannot use the word illegal, because illegal is again a different, if you see, there is illegal agreements for you as well. So it is a different set of contract altogether. Yeah, void contracts are not illegal contracts. Yeah, but illegal contracts are void contracts. Clear? So what is void? Something which cannot be enforceable. That is something which is not valid in nature. Yeah. So what do you mean by void contract? Now you told that initially there was friendly relation between two countries. There was a war broken between these two countries. What happens after that? That contract become void because of the reason of expressly declared as void. Did we see the last condition? Alien enemy expressly declared to be void. So that is the condition. So the moment there is a war which has been there between two countries, whatever contract has been entered into will turn to be void. Yeah, so what does the meaning of term void stand for? It is not a valid contract from today. Whatever has happened from in the past, I don't know about that, but from today it is not a valid contract. Yeah, clear? So this is again the second example, possibility of performance. Now say for example, there is a very a good singer. You hire that person, you have a theater, you invite that person to come and sing in your theater. Yeah, you expressly choose that singer because of that person's voice. You're very much impressed. You know that if this person comes and perform in your theater will be houseful and you can mint money. Now say the performance is on Sunday, this person passes away on Thursday. Yeah, that is today she passes away and your performance is on Sunday. Now can you enforce the contract? Why?
There is no possibility to perform.
So the subject matter in the contract is destroyed, hence you cannot perform the contract. Clear? Yeah, so this contract turns out to be a void contract. The same example, there was a war and which made the contract to be void. Here the passing away of the person, that is the death of the person, made the contract impossible to perform. Earlier it was fine, but after a certain point of time it became impossible to perform. Yeah, easy to remember? Clear? Any doubt? Any doubt on void contract? Void is very much used in your all the chapters, so if you have any doubt you can ask. Everyone's clear? Sure? What is voidable contract? Heard of it? No? What is voidable contract?
The consent of which the contract, the consent of which is obtained either by coercion, misrepresentation, mistake, or
So what is voidable contract?
so the consent is obtained by one of the parties or the free consent, the other it's not obtained or
Okay, so what happens in voidable contract? You know the answer. We already discussed what happens.
it does not.
So I told you that there was a gun. So what is the remedy given to the other person? You can go to the court of law within a reasonable time and say that the whatever contract was entered was not with my free consent, but I was induced to sign. Yeah, so this is called as voidable contract. What is the meaning of void? What is the meaning of voidable? ABLE. What is that? Able. Are you able to do it? That is, I am giving you a choice to choose to treat this contract as. So able gives you a choice between to choose it as either void contract or to treat it as a valid contract. Now imagine in our example the lady chose to remain silent because there was a gun. She chose, okay, something is written in my fate, I will take whatever money has come and I'll accept the contract. Now she treated this contract as a valid contract because there was an option given to her to go to the court of law within a reasonable time and to tell the court of law that someone had induced the signature from me. She didn't choose to do, so it became a valid contract. Because how will the world know if you don't come and tell to the court of law? Make sense? Say the second scenario, she goes to the court of law and the court of law now considers this as the consent was taken from coercion. What is coercion? Someone inducing you to sign the contract. Now the contract will be cancelled because it is considered now as void contract. So voidable, that is a choice given to you to treat this contract as void. If you don't want, it will become a valid contract. But if you want, you can treat this contract as void. Got what is the difference between void and voidable? Easy? Yeah? Any doubt? No? No confusion? Sure? Sir? Yeah? So your sir. Huh.
So if we have to differentiate between two, how can we differentiate?
Between void and voidable contracts, first thing, you have it in your answer. They have given you the parameters. But if not, what is void contract? Void contract was legal before and it turned out to be a not valid contract after certain point of time. Voidable contract can happen only in three instances. One is coercion, second one is undue influence, the third one is misrepresentation. So what does that mean? Someone is actually, the example I'm telling you, and no other contracts are treated as voidable contracts, but void contracts, there are hundreds of examples. But voidable can happen only when the consent is not taken free of will. Yeah, so someone has induced you to sign a contract, only then it can be a voidable contract. Undue influence, we'll see what does that mean in the later part of your chapter. But you got the difference between void and voidable. Yeah, now say for example minor contract is a void contract if there is no option given to the minor to treat it as either valid or void. There is no option given to you, but in voidable you have an option either to remain silent, agree whatever has come in your way, or to go against the person and represent in the court of law. Yeah, clear? Huh. Void and voidable contract, an important one from your exam perspective. So void contract, we have seen what is a void contract. It ceases to be enforceable by law. Yeah, here it ceases to be enforceable by law at the option of one party. Can you see that option? There is a choice given to you whether to choose it as an void contract or valid contract. Yeah, clear? So what is voidable contract? Voidable contract is an option given to the party whether to choose the contract to be valid or void contract. Clear? Yeah. A contract becomes void if a law or circumstances is changing. Law, I told you, there is a breakage of war. Circumstance, the person is dying, there is a change in circumstance and that person cannot come and perform. Destroying of the subject matter, it makes a contract void. Voidable contracts can happen only when the consent is not free. Only in this case a contract can be treated as voidable and in no other circumstance. Yeah, clear? A void contract cannot be performed. Voidable, can it be performed? What do you mean by performed? Can it be treated as valid contract? Yeah, if the person remains silent, it will be treated as valid contract. So it can be performed and this cannot be performed. Clear? Yeah, able to understand? So what is the right? What happens in your void contracts? Void contracts does not give you any right, but voidable contracts give you a right either to choose the contract to be valid or not to choose the contract to be valid. Void contracts, it is not in your hands. It is by the law. Here it is in your hands to either choose or not to choose the contract. Clear? Yeah. Next one, illegal contracts. What is illegal contract? Illegal contract? Enforceable by law? Legal contract? No, what? Yeah, simple, which is opposed to public policy, illegal contracts. You write a contract saying that I want 100 kgs of drugs, cocaine. Valid contract? No. Opposed to public policy. Very important terminology. any contract which is opposed to public policy will be treated as illegal contracts. I told you there is a difference between void and illegal contract. Yeah, so this is the difference. Not all the void contracts are opposed to public policy. If I have a contract with a minor, it is, though it is a void contract, it is not opposed to public policy. But if at all I am telling someone to kill a person, it is opposed to public policy. So all illegal contracts are void, but not all void contracts are illegal. Yeah. All illegal agreements are void, but all void agreements are not illegal. Yeah, clear? Is this true? True? All illegal agreements? Are all illegal agreements void? Yeah? Sure? What is the difference between void agreement and illegal agreement? Say void contract and illegal contract.
All void are not illegal.
Awesome. Next. Awesome. Opposed to public policy. Next. So whenever there is a difference, always remember, start your answer with the definition. That is the meaning. You always get 1 mark there. Next, try to write one example. 1 more mark. Yeah. Now try to think if you have any point. Easily you will score 2-3 marks here and there, even if you don't know anything, like a specific point also. Correct? So you answered 3 points. One is definition, all illegal and all void, that one, and third one, example. So you will always score 3 to 4 marks here if you write it in this way. Be it any difference, write your definition, write 1 point here and there, and write example. Yeah. If possible, remember section, void contract is 2J, voidable is 2I. Comes one after the other. If possible, try to remember. Yeah. Unlike the contract and agreement, this is okay, but if possible, try to remember. Yeah. How to remember? This one is like, if possible, try to remember. If not, it's not a definition asked question, so it's okay. Yeah. It's not necessary that agreements collateral to void agreements may also be void. Agreements collateral to illegal agreements are always void. So what does that mean? Say, for what do you mean by collateral agreements? Now say there is A. A gives money to B and tells to hire some person, that is C, to kill D. Yeah. So this chain of things is called as collateral agreements. So when I'm contracting, there are one agreement here, one agreement here, one agreement here. So say for example, now C is killing D. There is an agreement between B and C that if you kill D, I'll give you money. How will B get money is A needs to pay money. Now A paying money to B is valid. Correct? There is nothing illegal in that. But because the final output was illegal, even this will become illegal contract, that is void. So any collateral agreement to a illegal contract will be treated as void, even though it is legal in nature. Now say for example you would have asked money from a bank, that is loan from a bank, even that turns out to be void because of the collateral in nature. But that is not the same with void agreements. This might be void agreement, but the collateral things can be a legal agreement. Yeah, so that is not there with void contracts. With illegal contracts, anything collateral will also be treated as void.
Sir, whether suppose A borrows money from a bank
Hmm.
and he is dead, then
He's dead. Okay.
the contract becomes a void contract, or what happens?
So here law says there are children to pay. So successors come into picture. They will repay the contract. Even there are exceptions. But if you are very anxiety, I'll tell you. So children are always liable to pay to the amount of estate you have deceased from your parents. What does that mean? Say for example, in your case, there is a B. A is B's dad. Now A gives B 10 lakh worth rupees property. With the property, he also gives 40 lakh worth rupees loan. Yeah. So you as a child, will you take the property? No. Obviously. So the law says the child's liability is only up to the value of the asset given through interestate. That is 10 lakh. So the 30 lakh you will not be personally liable. But if you have signed as a surety and all, that's a different story. But as a descendant and all, it will not pass on.
It will not be void.
No. Yeah? Any doubt? The fifth category, unenforceable contract. What is unenforceable contract? It is a valid contract, but there is something which is very minor missing in a contract. What can that be? Say for example, stamp paper is missing, signature is missing. Yeah, so these contracts are very good. I mean, the consideration is good, everything is good. You have drafted on a very bond paper, very expensive, 100 rupees. Still, it is treated as unenforceable contract for the reason being either both the parties have not signed it, or you have not bought a stamp paper. What is stamp paper?
20 rupees, 30 rupees,
20 rupee,
20 rupees, 100 rupees.
20 rupees, 100 rupees. Have you seen that Ashoka emblem and all will be there? There will be some. Have you seen it? I'll show you. If not, I'll show you tomorrow. Yeah, everyone have seen it. Yeah. So in Indian Contract Act, if any evidence has to be submitted, say for example, there has to be a contract. If the contract needs to be valid, then it needs to have a stamp paper. That is, you need to pay stamp duty. The stamp duty will be through that stamp paper. Yeah, you will get it in any what is that, state cooperative banks and all such places. They will give you this stamp papers. So got the meaning of unenforceable contracts. Unenforceable contracts are valid contracts provided there are something which is missing in the essence of the contract, which can be very minor in nature. Say insurance contract should be on a paper. You have taken it orally. An agent comes to your home, you say, okay, I'll take your contract. He'll feel very happy. Tomorrow you will not pick his call. That is what happens. No, is it a valid contract? No, because insurance contract should be on paper. Only then it is a valid contract. Yeah. Or the second one, the stamp paper. Such things. Yeah. What are the types of contracts? What are the first three categories? Formation, validity, performance. In the first one, what are the different types of contracts? Valid, void, illegal, unenforceable, enforceable. Valid, void, voidable, unenforceable, illegal. Yeah. So the second category is formation of contracts. How is a contract formed? Based on the formation, what are the different types of contracts? First contract is called as express contract. What do you mean by express contract? Two parties come, they sit, they sip a coffee and they say, I'll sell my land, you pay me 10 lakh rupees. Both of them agree, they write it down, they sign, they go home. Expressly everything is decided, everything is spoken, everything is decided and written. It is an express contract. So whenever something is discussed and decided and it is written in a contract format, it becomes an express contract. The conditions, terms and conditions, agreement, everything is discussed upright. It becomes an express contract. Basically every written contract is a express contract, because it is assumed that you go through the contract and only then you sign. Yeah, that is express contracts. A tells B on telephone that he offers to sell his house for 2 lakh. B in reply informs A that he accepts the offer. This is an express contract. Basically everything was discussed upright, saying I'll sell my house and you pay me 2 lakhs. And if you write everything and if you sign, it becomes a valid contract. Yeah. What do you mean by implied contract? Which is not? Express, you both decide, you both say that perfect, let us do this way, and you execute the contract. What is implied contract?
Which is understood, very well known.
Very well known.
From the action
That
can
indirectly
be
told
interpreted that the
to
person wants to get into a contract.
Awesome. The main term from the action. Example. Some example.
So like in a bus,
Awesome.
if I get on a bus, it's implied that I'll pay the money to go to my destination.
Awesome. So you get onto a bus. Is there any act or rule which says that you need to buy a ticket? Correct? It is implied contract that if you get onto a bus, you need to take a ticket. So the contract is formed based on your performance, based on your conduct. So any contract which is entered into based on the conduct of the parties is called as implied contract. So the best example is getting onto a bus. The second one, you go to a hotel, you eat. Is there a rule or law which says that you need to pay money and only then go out? Then why do you pay? Why do you have to pay? Is there a rule? One way, they have put a arrow mark and they say this. That is why you don't go. But who told you to pay after you eat a meal in a hotel? Correct, right? So it is an implied contract. Law says the conduct of you eating in a hotel enters into a contract between two parties, and the party whoever eats the food in the hotel is liable to pay the other party the money whatever he has had in the hotel. So it is called as implied contract. Clear? Clear? So you can write here the examples. One is your bus and the second one is hotel. Implied contracts are also called as tacit contracts. What do you mean by tacit contract? Silent. So there is no contract specifically, but still there is a contract which is formed by law. So implied contracts are basically formed by law or imposed by law based on the conduct of the parties. 2 points if you are writing in your book. Implied contracts are imposed by law and it is formed based on the conduct of the parties. What is the next contract? Quasi contracts. What do you mean by quasi contracts? What do you mean by quasi? Heard of this somewhere? What is quasi? Semi. So quasi means the word quasi means semi or partial. Yeah. So these are not expressly contracts, but these are semi contracts. Yeah. Quasi contracts again, your last chapter is entirely with quasi contracts, but just for the brief understanding, this is not an express contract entered between you both and also not recognized by the conduct of the party. So how this the quasi contract is formed? Now say for example, there is a person who is drowning in the water. You go and save him. The moment you saved him, he told you that I promise to pay you 1,000 rupees. Yeah. Now he goes home. There was no contract. There was nothing which is written, but still you need to enforce the contract. How do you enforce such contracts which there is a contract entered by you voluntarily? So you on your own will went and saved the person who is drowning in the water. It was of your own will, and the person promised to pay. It becomes a quasi contract. Got it? Got what is quasi contract? Here and there. We have an entire unit on that. If you are confused, we'll discuss in later. Yeah. But quasi contract, it is not a contract which is specifically entered into by two parties. It is something given or recognized by law based on your voluntarily act. What is voluntarily act? You go and save some person's life. Say for example, there is a missing wallet. You found some missing wallet. So you go and you hand it over to the owner of it. He said that I will give you 1,000 rupees for it. It becomes a quasi contract. Founder of the lost goods. It is called as the founder of lost goods. It becomes a quasi contract. So some person has lost something on road. You voluntarily pick, you put efforts and you find the owner and you give the property back to him. So he promises to give something for that. If he doesn't give, how is it monitored? How is it even enforced by law? It is enforced through quasi contracts. Yeah, got a brief idea? We'll be seeing in detail quasi contracts. What is e-contracts? You will know better than me. Contracts entered into through electronic form. So if I sign through this Apple Pen, is it e-contract? Electronic form.
So the contract comes through email or some messages.
So agreeing to terms and conditions is an e-contract.
Exactly. So Flipkart, after reading everything, I know you'll not read anything, but you'll say buy now. After coming, you'll realize that, oh shit, I ordered a Rexin cloth and not a cotton cloth. He would have given in the terms and conditions. Yeah, when you click on buy now, it means you have entered into a contract. Those things are called as e-contracts. Something which has happened over an electronic means. Or emails, as you both rightly said. When you say through electronically, that means this was a costly mistake. When you say that it is through electronic means, that means say someone offers to you to do a job over email. You say that I accept to the offer. There is a contract. Though there is nothing written for both of them, still it is through emails and it is a valid contract. Yeah. And the second one is your e-commerce sites. So the example you can write is your e-commerce. What is e-commerce? Flipkart, Amazon and everything. Yeah. The third category, based on performance of the contract. What is based on performance? There can be two contracts. One is executed contract. Second one is executory contract. What do you understand by executed contract?
Already happened.
Already happened. So a contract, say for example, you have purchased some product online and you have paid money for it. Yeah. No, assume you have done it as COD, cash on delivery. So the Flipkart person comes, he hands over your property, you pay him the money. Once he goes back, the contract has become an executed contract. You have paid the money, he has delivered you the property. Correct? Agreed? So the contract has become executed contract. Now, same example. You have same property, you have selected say the Apple pen, you have selected it and you have paid it online. And now this becomes executory contract. Why? One person has fulfilled his obligation, the other person is yet to fulfill his obligation. Got the example? You have paid the money, that is your part of the contract has been performed. The second person, his contract will be performed only when he delivers the goods at your doorstep. Then it becomes a executed contract. Until then it becomes executory contract. So in executory there are two things. One is unilateral. The discussion, the example which we saw was unilateral. What do you mean by unilateral? One person. That is, one person is yet to perform his obligation. The other person has already performed his obligation. So what do you mean by that? There was a contract to buy a property and to pay money. One person paid money. Unilateral contract. One person has done his job. The other person is yet to deliver the goods to you. Executory unilateral contract. The second example, bilateral contract. You have done COD. Yeah, it is showing the status is under shipment. The delivery is on Sunday. Yeah, until Sunday it is executory bilateral contract. Why? Even you are yet to pay money, even he is yet to deliver the goods. Both of them, there is a performance pending on both the parties. Clear? Understandable? Relatable? Yeah? Awesome. Huh. The next one, proposal. What is proposal? Not that, I mean offer. What is offer? Why are you laughing? What went through when I said proposal? Huh. So what is proposal? Define in your terms. You're free. The stage is yours. Sir, when you look at a girl, sir. What? It's okay, tell. What is proposal? Even there is an offer in that also. When you like a girl, you will tell that, will you marry me? There is an offer. If the girl says yes, there is acceptance. It becomes a valid contract. It is correct. That is only given here also. Propose. That is why they say proposal or offer. Yeah. Okay. So what is proposal or offer? Easy way to remember the section. 2A. So the entire chapter starts from an offer. When will you enter into a contract? First there has to be an offer, only then there can be an acceptance. So the first letter A, so everything starts from offer. 2A, offer. Clear? What is 2E?
Agreement.
Yeah. 2H, 2A. Awesome. When one person signifies to another willingness to do or not to do, with a view of obtaining consent. Not bad. When one person signifies to another willingness to do or not to do with a view of obtaining consent. So, when one person, who is he? Offerer, signifies to another, who is that? Willingness to do or not to do. So, one thing to see here. If I tell you, okay, tell me one thing, can an offer be negative? Not to do something, can it be offer? Now, if I tell you to sell your property, it is telling you to do something. Give me one example of where I can tell you not to do something and I'll pay you money.
Certain jobs, like they make you sign that you won't get another job in a competing business.
Anti-competitive agreements. Yeah. Say a simple day-to-day example. You go while you're traveling in your bike, you see a very nice car, Innova. You feel it is very, very nice and you just go and hit it. Now the Innova person gets down and he tells you, boss, I'll go and sue you in the court of law. And you say, you don't go to court of law, I'll pay you whatever is a damage money. Is there an offer? And what are you telling him not to do? Don't go in the court of law. Don't go to the police station and don't file a case on me. I will give you whatever is the expenses. Done. The contract has been entered, so there is a negative contract also. You're telling the other party not to do something. Yeah. So an offer can be either positive or negative. And the last part is important. There should always be an option or choice given to the offeree, and it should not be a statement. You should just not say that. It should not be only from your perspective. Offeree should also have an option of either accepting the offer or rejecting the offer. That is the meaning of with a view of obtaining consent. You should just not say that. Now say for example, I'll tell you, tomorrow I'll have a class at 5 o'clock in the morning. All of you come. Is this an offer? No. Because I am just declaring a statement and not having an intention to take your feedback. So there is always a difference between making a statement and making an offer. Got it? Clear? What is an offer? Clear? Will you be able to define? This is your exact definition of offer. When one person signifies to another willingness to do or not to do with the view of obtaining a consent from the other party. Yeah, this is your 4-liner definition. When one person signifies to another his willingness to do or to abstain from doing with a view to obtaining the assent of the other, he is said to make an offer. Complicated definition. Able to understand? Able to relate? Yeah? So now what are the types of offer or classification of offer? So there are 5 types of offer. What is general offer? First one is general offer. What is general offer?
Open to all.
Open to all. So now see for example, I'll give this pen to that person who gives 100 rupees and on first come first serve basis. Now who will come and take this pen? Am I telling it to any one person in particular? So this becomes a general offer where I'm not intending to tell any one person here in particular, but I'm giving you people an open offer. Anyone who comes here on first come first serve basis, this pen belongs to that person. So it's a open offer. The second category is specific or special offer, where I tell you in particular, I will give you this pen only to you if you give me 100 rupees. This becomes a specific offer, where I tell I will sell a pen to a specific person and not to a group of people. Yeah, got it? So general offer, a very important case law. I don't know how many stars you put. Carlyle versus Carbolic Smoke Ball Company. Yeah, a very good case law. What happened in the case law? There was a company. If your phone rings, you should sing a song. Huh? That's a rule of our class. Done. So there was a company. The name of the company was Carbolic Smoke Ball Company. Yeah. So what these people did, they gave a newspaper advertisement saying we are coming up with a tablet. The tablet name is called as smoke balls. If anyone uses this tablet and still have influenza in them, influenza, cold, INFLUENZA, influenza. So if you have cold, or if you take our tablet and you still continue with having cold, then we will give you €100 or pounds. We'll give you £100. So there was one lady who believed this ad and she started consuming those tablets. She, after taking those tablets as per the prescription and all, as per the directions given by the tablets, they told to take the tablets for 1 week. This lady consumed this tablet. Even after a week, she still had influenza in her. What is influenza? Cold. Now, as per the ad, any person who still had cold after using those tablets, they told we will give you £100. Now tell me, she still had cold in her after using the tablet for 1 week as per the directions given by the company. Now, is she eligible for the £100?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So she went to the company and told the same thing. I use the tablets the way you told, but still the cold is continuing and you should pay me the £100 as promised. The company told, why should I pay you the money? Was there a contract between me and you that I will pay you money in particular? I just told it in random. Why should I pay you? Was your name written in the advertisement? It was the company didn't tell that it was a general offer. It just told, go, I'll not give you the money. What did the lady did? Lady went to the court of law and she told, sir, this is what has happened. And they have given me the advertisement and all, and she proved it in the court of law. So the court of law told, brother, this is a general offer. That means it is an open offer. Any person who looks into the advertisement and starts using the product, that means it is an acceptance. So when you gave a paper ad in the newspaper, that was a offer, and when she started consuming the tablet, that became a acceptance, and hence it was a valid contract and you are liable to pay the £100 as promised. This was held in Carlyle versus Carbolic Smoke Ball Company. A very landmark case law where the open offer or general offer was held valid. Clear? Able to understand? Yeah? Any doubt? Sure? The next case law, a very important one from your exam perspective. Lalman Shukla versus Gauridutt. The same thing. There was two people. This person's name is Gauridutt, and there was Gauridutt's nephew. Yeah. One day, Gauridutt's nephew went missing. After multiple attempts, Gauridutt failed to trace his nephew. What did Gauridutt do? He told his servant, his name is Lalman Shukla, to go and search the nephew. So Lalman Shukla went. After 1 or 2 days, Lalman Shukla still didn't come back. What did Gauridutt do? Gauridutt gave a paper advertisement saying, anyone who brings back my nephew, I will pay you 30 pounds. Yeah. After this advertisement, Lalman Shukla one day, he found his nephew and he brought nephew back to Gauridutt. Remember, Lalman Shukla has not seen the paper advertisement. Yeah. Lalman Shukla brought back the nephew. Now, Lalman Shukla, after giving back the nephew, he walked out of the place. While he was walking out of the place, he saw an advertisement saying, anyone who brought back the nephew would get 30 pounds. Lalman Shukla now went back and asked Gauridutt to pay me the 30 pounds. Now tell me whether Gauridutt is liable to pay 30 pounds to Lalman Shukla or not.
No.
Who and all says yes? I heard yes. Yes. No? Why not? Why no?
Because
He wasn't aware of that offer when he bought back.
It was a general offer, no?
Sir, he should ask instantly at that time. He should have asked at that time.
Okay. Let us change the story. He asked instantly.
offer must be made at the time of performance.
Sir, again he is not liable because
went searching before the offer was made.
Correct. So basically, as you told, while this person went, he was not aware of the offer. So an offer will be complete or an offer is valid only when it is communicated to the offeree. What is the offer definition? When one person signifies to another, there has to be a communication between the offerer and offeree. In this case, Lalman Shukla was not aware if at all I brought back the nephew, I will be getting this 30 pounds. This was not being told to Lalman Shukla while he went for searching the nephew. Correct? Now when he brought back, he will not get the 30 pounds because he was not aware of the offer. The same was held in Lalman Shukla versus Gauridutt. Clear? Clear? Are you able to? Because the case laws are very important. They will either give you the scenario, the case laws, the landmark case laws will go up to 15-20. Yeah. So if you can remember the story here and there, then it is quite good. Yeah. Guys, able to understand? Yeah. The next one, special offer or specific offer. What is special offer or specific offer?
sir, done to a particular person.
Particular person, that's called as special offer. The case law we'll be discussing a little while afterwards. What is cross offer?
The offer is given through someone.
Through someone.
So the
I
same
want to give an
offer is-
offer to C,
Hmm.
but I am sending it through B.
Then it will become post.
So the same
Just
offer
kidding.
is made by both the parties. Like,
Exactly.
You tell me to buy that pen for 100 rupees, but at the same time I'm coming to you and telling you I'll buy the pen for 100 rupees.
Correct.
Barter system. Barter system.
Barter system, no. So what happens in crossover? Okay, is crossover okay? First, I'll tell you what is crossover. You tell me. You answer the question after that. Where is crossover? Now imagine there is A, there is B. A has 1 lakh rupees. B has car. A writes a letter to B saying, I am interested to buy your car for 1 lakh rupees. Say for example, this is from Karnataka, this is Delhi, the letter is in Mumbai. Now B writes a letter to A. Now even this is in Mumbai. This happens both on Thursday. Both of them write the letter. B writes a letter to A, I am interested in selling my car to you for 1 lakh rupees. Is it a valid offer? Got the scenario? A is telling B, I want to buy your car for 1 lakh rupees. B is telling, I want to sell my car for 1 lakh rupees. So is it a valid offer and acceptance? It is a contract. Correct? Nonsense. No. There has to be an offer, and offer has to be communicated, and there has to be a response to the offer. Only then it will be a contract. In this example, there are 2 offers and there is no offer and acceptance. B is also making an offer itself, saying that I am interested to sell my car for 1 lakh rupees. Are you interested to buy? Both of them are making the offer on the same day. They are not aware of each other's letter. Yeah. Now imagine this letter has reached B and then B replied to that letter. That will be an acceptance. If not, it will become a cross offer. 2 offers on the same subject matter becomes cross offer. Got what it is? Understood? Awesome. What is counter offer? The next category is counter offer. What is counter offer?
Correction in the offer already made.
Making negotiation, partially correct. Bargaining, partially correct.
Sir, I give an offer with my terms and conditions. In return, he gives an offer with his own terms and conditions.
Awesome. Royal way, yeah. So all of you are correct. What is counter offer? Now say for example, you go and ask your parents, I need a Ducati bike. Yeah. If your parents accept your requirement, it becomes an offer, and they have accepted, it becomes a consideration. Your parents will say, I will get you your Ducati bike, but score 100 in your CA exams. Yeah. So this becomes a counter offer. There is an offer, but it is being provided with one more offer from your parent. So there is a change in the offer. It becomes a counter offer. So whenever there is a counter offer, the first offer becomes invalid. Got it? Now if you agree, you are agreeing to their offer and not your offer. That is, now your motto will be to score 100. Only then you will get a bike. Got it? So whenever there is a counter offer, the first offer becomes invalid. Clear? Easy to understand? Any doubt? Okay, the second example, from your exam perspective, A tells B, I am interested to sell my property, say house, yeah, for 10 lakh rupees. B tells, okay, I'm interested to buy the property and here is the money. He will send 1 lakh and he will write in the letter saying that I will pay the rest 9 lakh rupees in 3 installments. Is it a valid offer or was it a valid contract?
No. Yes.
Why?
Both the side only offers, there's no acceptance.
There is acceptance, no? I am telling that I am interested to buy the property and I am also giving you 1 lakh rupees as a advance and I am telling you that I will give you the rest of the money in 3 installments. So it is a valid offer. Correct, right? No, it is not a valid offer. Why? My condition was I will sell you the property for 10 lakh rupees. Did I specify that I will accept EMIs? When I accept to your terms, it become a counter offer. The counter offer here was to pay in installments. Now if I agree to that, that becomes your offer and I should give my acceptance. So the first offer now becomes invalid. Clear? Clear? Yeah. So that is your counter offer. What is a standing offer?
On the spot.
On the spot offer. It is standing. You relate things a lot.
Sudden offer. Take it.
Sudden offer, sir, sudden acceptance, valid contract. Awesome. No. Huh. So what is standing offer or continuing offer?
For a period of time, like within 10 days, accept this offer.
Yes. So aware of IPOs and all? IPO, what is IPO? Initial public offer. Aware? Everyone aware? If not, I'll give you another example. Everyone aware? Okay. So the IPOs will be valid for certain period of days. Say for example, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, whatever days it is. So it is valid for a period of time or for over a period of time. So when the offer is open for a period of time, it becomes a continuing or a standing offer. Call for the tender. Government says, I want to build a metro for Bangalore. Give me your quotations. I'll accept your quotations for next 2 months. So the offer is open for the next 2 months. Your IT returns, when should you pay?
31st July.
Before 31st.
Before 31st July.
Okay, question for the day. When should your IT returns to be filed? Yeah?
Individual 31st July.
IT returns or
Are submitting returns.
IT tax paying or IT returns?
IT returns.
Huh.
IT returns. Individual IT returns you need to submit or
By
31st July.
31st July? Sure.
I guess it's March because in the month of February people usually do.
Okay, question for the day. Huh.
No, it is 31st July.
Still question for the day. Yeah, there is 2 dates. One is for your IT payment and one is for filing your returns. That is your.
Filing your returns is individual return is 31st July.
Huh?
And making the payment it is 30th April is the last day. The advance tax what we are paying
Huh?
is in the quarterly. So there is due dates.
Okay, still open question. Okay, so whenever there is a call for you, now when IT people tell you to pay, say your returns by certain date, now your returns will be accepted till the end of the day. Now say for example, let us assume 31st of September. Does September as 31st? 30th of September. Okay. Say for example, you have to file your returns by 30th of September. If you don't file your returns by 30th of September, your returns will not be valid or it will not be considered. You have to pay some extra fine and all. Yeah, that is a rule. Now, every year there will be an extension of filing your returns. Do you people know that?
No, sir.
No? Okay, what do you mean by filing your returns? Basically, whatever you are earning, you have to say to the government that this is what I have earned and this was my expenses and I have filed, this is my income tax to be paid to the government. Yeah, this you have to file to the government like a statement, basically. Yeah. Now say for example, you have to file all this by 30th of September. Every year the date will be extended. You know why? Reason being, the government has given you a deadline till 30th of September, and you know our country, everyone are awake on that last day to file your returns. Yeah, 30th September, 11 o'clock, they'll be on systems and they'll be trying to file. You know our systems, you know our internet. Please try again after some time. It will not be filed. And is it a valid reason for you to tell that I tried filing but I was not able to file? Can you tell that? I gave you time till 30th September, but why were you not able to file? It is your mistake, no? You should pay a fine, right?
Maybe some situations that we could not do it, and the last days.
Situations for every year, sir. But still, the government gives you extension. Why?
For the people,
Because it is a government,
because
they
government is
should
getting
procure the
benefit.
Yeah, source of revenue.
upload. It is your system is not accepting.
So the government will tell, Madam, I gave you time till 30th September. Why did you try at 11:30 in the night?
Expenditure
Yeah,
was
but
last
because
till
to file
30th.
the particular return, I'm using your portal, and
Huh.
your portal is not responding at that time. So it is.
So they will tell, Madam, file 29th September.
My expenditure was still 10 seconds.
It is only till your financial year. That is why they keep it in September, July and all. So it is only till 31st March you should count, not until 30th September 12 o'clock. So the government says, people said one thing. When you gave us an opportunity to file the returns until 30th September, that means your portal should be working until 12 o'clock in the night. It is not my responsibility your portal is not working, and the government takes the responsibility of extending the date because so many people in the same page at that point of time government is not able to handle, and it is not our mistake and it is your mistake. It is a standing offer. You should accept because the site was not working. It is your mistake. I tried. The offer was until 12 o'clock. Got it? Yeah, that is the reason the IT returns will always be extended. Clear? So what is standing offer? Which is open for a period of time. Continuing offer. Got it? Able to understand? Essentials of a valid offer. It must be capable of creating legal relationship. Case law. When will the offer be here? Okay. Can you see this way? Now? Essentials of a valid offer. If a offer needs to be valid, there are few essentials. Yeah. So what is the first essential? It must be capable of creating legal relationship. So what is the case law? Did we see this? Balfour versus Balfour. So Carbolic Smoke Ball Company. What did that say? Legal. No, we saw two things. Social relationship, legal relationship. Which case was this?
That was the second one.
Balfour versus Balfour, husband and wife.
That was social.
So in which case law government? So in which case law court held that social relationships cannot be held valid? It has to be legal relationship. It was Balfour versus Balfour. Yeah. So got that point? It has to be able to create legal relationship. Basically, any promises made between husbands and wives, say parents and children, it is not a legal relationship, but it is a social obligation. Yeah, correct? Correct, this one? It must be certain, definite and not vague. Did we see this? Yeah? Give me 1 liter of oil. Which oil? Tell me your name. Whose name? Not specified. It is vague in nature. So an offer has to be specific. Give me 1 liter of coconut oil. It is a specific offer. So an offer should always be definite and certain. It has to be on point. You should specify what you want. Clear? It must be communicated to the offeree. Which case law? Lalman Shukla versus Gauri Dutt. So if you should claim that as a contract, you should be aware of the offer. When will the offer be held as valid? When it is communicated to the offeree. The other person should know that you are trying to communicate an offer to that person. Only then it will be held as a valid offer. Clear? Guys, any doubts, any problem? Last benchers? No sir. I don't know what you told sir, but no sir. The fourth condition, it must be made with a view to obtaining the assent of the other party. Offer definition, it should not be a statement, but it should be a choice given to the other person whether to accept or not accept the offer. So it must be made with a view to obtaining the assent. That is, what is assent meaning here? Consent. Yeah. So I should give you an option and you should have a choice to choose the offer or not to choose the offer. Only then it is called as or considered as offer. I cannot tell the example where I told you to come tomorrow at 5 o'clock. It is not an offer. But if I ask, is it okay for you people to come at 5 o'clock tomorrow? It's an offer. Are you getting the difference? There is an option given to you in the second part. In the first part, there is no option given to you. It is just a statement. A statement is always different from an offer. Yeah? Clear? Offer may be conditional. What do you mean by conditional offer?
There may be some terms and conditions.
Terms and conditions. So your parents will say that you score, I'll get you a bike, you score 50 marks.
Conditional offer becomes a counter offer, right? How can it be valid?
No. Conditional offer is when the offerer himself puts a condition. Counter offer, when you tell something, the offeree puts a condition. You got the difference? In the conditional offer, I told you that I'll sell you my property. You told, I agree to buy the property, but I will pay in installments. So anything told before but is invalid. You know that? Sir, I really liked your lecture, sir, but the first part is invalid now. So anything told before but is invalid. So given in this case also, you told that I'll buy your property, but you are telling that I want to buy it in installments. So it is an offer given by the other party. It becomes counter offer. Whereas conditional offer, I myself am giving a condition in the offer. What do I say? Say for example, the one I told you, parents tell you that I'll give you a bike provided you score 50 marks. They are only telling you to score. They are telling you that I'll give you a bike, but they are putting a condition saying that you have to score 50. Got it? So there has to be a condition in the offer. So there can be a conditional offer. Yeah, the offer can be conditional. So what is conditional? There can be any terms and conditions attached to the offer. Only if this is fulfilled, only then you are supposed to, only then it will be treated as a valid contract. Got it? Now see, the example, this one, there are few products on some e-commerce sites wherein they'll not accept COD. It has to be paid first, that is online, only then they will deliver you the product. There are many websites like that. So it is a condition that it has to be an online payment. There is no COD. It is a conditional offer. Only then you will say buy now. That means you have agreed to the condition that I'll pay and only then buy the product. Correct? Yeah? Yes? Offer should not contain a term that non-compliance of which would amount to acceptance. So what do you mean by that? Offer should not have a term or a clause saying that if you fail to do this, then it is treated as a valid offer. So what do you mean by that? I will say that I will write you a letter saying I am interested to buy your car for 1 lakh. And if you don't reply to me in 7 days, I assume that you have agreed the offer. Yeah. So non-compliance of which would amount to acceptance. If you don't reply within 7 days, non-compliance means not replying or not adhering to the conditions. So I cannot write a letter saying if you fail to reply to me in 7 days, that means I assume that you have sold me your car. Yeah, understood? So if at all an offer has such condition in it, it is not a valid offer. There should always be a choice given to the other party. It should not be a mere statement to the other party. Got it? The offer may be either specific or general. Yeah, that we have seen. It can be either a general offer or a specific offer. When it is written to one person in particular, it becomes specific offer. When it is written to a people on a whole, it becomes a general offer. Offer is different from a mere statement of invitation or intention or statement and offer. So an offer is different and invitation to offer is different. So we'll be seeing two things here. So there are two things. One is offer. The other one is invitation to offer. So what is offer we all saw. I will directly tell you that this is what is I want. Are you okay to sell me this? He'll say okay, the offer is executed. What is invitation to offer? Now say for example, you go to Forum Mall. Yeah, you will see certain display goods. There will be some dress materials, there will be something which will be displayed in behind the glass. Yeah. So what is the job of those display items? So he's telling that I have these items, I'm inviting you to make an offer. Yeah. So the offer is different and mere display of item is different. Now you walk inside the showroom and you say I would want the display item whatever you put. Say for example he has displayed some blazer. Yeah, a very cool blazer, a very unique one, and you really loved it and you want to buy now. So you went into the store. The store name is Maymond, and you went into the store and you want the blazer, and you go and ask the shopkeeper. You tell him that you pack me that stuff, I'll pay you the money. The vendor now, he will not agree to your statement. He'll say I'll not sell you the blazer. Now tell me, is it a valid denial? Can he not sell the product to you? Understood the scenario? Yeah. You saw the display piece, you went in search of it, you asked him to pack that for you, and he told no, I cannot give that for you. Is it a valid denial? Can he deny giving you the product to you? It was he said there was an offer, you have put it there, I have accepted it. It is a contract. Now you have to give me the goods. But the shopkeeper said no, I will not give you. There was no offer at all. How and why? So the court held the same thing. When there is a display of goods, it is not an offer that I'll be selling it to you. It is just an invitation to offer to let the customers come inside that particular shop. Now you will go and ask him that, are you willing to buy that product? Now the acceptance has to be given by the shopkeeper, and the offer here is given by you and not the shopkeeper. So the invitation to the offer and offer are two different things. So what is invitation to offer? A second example, you go to a restaurant you find a very what is that, tempting item. You feel that I need to have it now. You call the food supplier and you will say that the bearer, go and get me this item. He'll say, sorry sir, it's not there. Can you sue that person? Why not? There was an offer that this is for 60 rupees. You accepted it, saying that I get me that product. Implied contract, tacit contracts. Now why cannot you sue that person?
So the item may be out of stock.
Whatever is the reason, when you have put in your menu card, that means you have to supply it, right? So there was an offer, implied contract, correct? So now can he sue the restaurant owner? Can he? Why not? Is able to, did you understand the example? Yes? What can I do? Tell me. Out of stock. What can I do? Tell me. Out of stock. What out of stock? The item will be at out of stock. So I as a customer, I'll tell, if this item is out of stock, then why did you have it in the menu card? So what did we study in that first thing? There is an implied contract. The moment I go and sit, there is an implied contract. Correct? Now will you agree? I ate and I'll say, sorry, I don't have my wallet. I forgot. Is it? Now can he ask for money? He can. So in the same way, why can't you sue him saying that I want this product? So wherever you go, you first ask them that, do you have this? And he will say, yes, I have, and I'll get you. So the menu card here is an invitation to offer, and you will ask him, can I get a masala dosa? He will say yes. So the offer is made by you and the acceptance is given by the other person. So you cannot sue the restaurant owner here. The reason being, it is just an invitation to offer and not an offer itself. Got it? Yeah? The same thing, no? You didn't understand?
Is it like invitation to offer similar to marketing?
Yes, invitation to offer is similar to marketing. Just like your IPO bids. Tell me one thing, IPO, okay. I have, how many of you there? Somewhere around 22? Yeah? I have 15 shares of 10 rupees each. Yeah? I'll tell you guys to bid for the shares. Each of you are very humble in nature. You will ask only for one share. Yeah? Now, you are 22 people altogether. I get 22 offers. Now, can I reject the 7? Because I have only 15 shares and 22 of you have bidded for it. Can I reject the 7 invitations? Is it possible?
Yes.
Why? I told you, right? You bid for the shares and I'll give you.
So the 7 may give less price for the shares. The 7 may give less price.
No, they gave 10 rupees only. You got the example? Yeah? Now, should I give shares to all 22 of you or can I give to 15 of you? To give to 22 of you, I don't have so many shares. So, can I say for 7 of you that I cannot give shares to you? Is it a valid denial? Can I do that? Yes. So, wasn't there an offer that you bid and I will give you share?
It was invitation to offer.
Exactly. So all your IPOs are invitation to offer. You know IPO, you have to subscribe to the initial public offer. I think every one of you would have done this problem in your accounts in your TU, under subscription and over subscription. What is over subscription? Yeah, more people bid for the offer and not everyone will get shares to it. So that is called as invitation to offer. That is the only reason why those people who are not getting shares cannot sue the company that have not received the shares, though I have given the money to the company. Got it? Got a fair idea what is invitation to offer? Yeah. So invitation to offer is different and offer is different. And a mere statement is also different. What is a mere statement? Tomorrow come by 5 o'clock. It is a mere statement. This cannot be considered as offer. An offer should always be seeking an answer from you. Is it okay for you guys to come at 5 o'clock tomorrow? It's an offer. Clear? Somewhere here and there? Yeah? Guys, if you're not understanding, please stop me. Offer must be distinguished from an answer to a question. An important case law, Harvey versus Facey. So what happened in this case law? So just a mere answer to a question is not considered as offer. For that there is a case law. What happened? There was a person called Harvey. There was a person called Facey. Yeah? Facey had a property called bumper hall pen. It is actually a property, but in all the books and every place they call it as pen itself. But it is actually a property in Jamaica. Yeah? So Facey had a property called bumper hall pen. So Harvey knew that Facey had this property. So Harvey wrote a letter to Facey stating two things. One, will you sell me the property, that is bumper hall pen, to me? That was the first question. First question was, will you sell? The second question was, what would be the least possible price for the property? The second one was, least price. Yeah, there were two questions in the letter. One, will you sell me the property? Second one, what is the least possible price you would give the property? So Facey replied saying, the least possible price is 900 euros. Yeah. Harvey said, I'm okay with the offer. I'm ready to buy the property for 900 euros. Facey said, I'm not willing to sell the property. Harvey told, you replied saying you're willing to sell the property at 900 euros. Facey said, I never accepted your offer. Harvey went to the court of law saying that here is a letter where Facey said the least possible price is 900 euros. Yeah. So the court of law was now to decide whether there was an offer and whether Facey should sell his property or not. Now you tell me, was there a valid offer and acceptance?
The offer was valid, but the acceptance was not.
Why wasn't the acceptance valid?
But within his wish to sell it or
So he told that the least possible price is 900 euros.
But he didn't answer for the first question that he is willing to sell or not.
So a mere answer to one question is not deemed as acceptance. The court of law held the same thing. There were two questions. One was, will you sell the property? And the second question was, what is the least possible price? And the answer was given only to the point 2 and not to the point 1. He just told, if at all I wish to sell, then it would be for 900 euros. Now the ball is in my court whether to sell my property or not. Got it? So the same was decided in Harvey versus Facey, saying that a mere answer to a statement is not considered as offer and acceptance. Clear? Yeah? A landmark case law, Harvey versus Facey. The offer may be express or implied. Did we see this? What is an express offer? Written or oral, wherein the terms are discussed and then you come to a conclusion. What is implied? It is understood based on your conduct. A statement of price is not an offer. What is the case law? Harvey versus Facey. What were the case laws we discussed today? Mass communication, na? Balfour versus Balfour. Carbolic Small Ball Company. Lalman Shukla versus Gauri Dutt. Harvey versus Facey. All four important and landmark judgments. Yeah, very very important from your exam perspective. What is offer section?
2A.
The next one is acceptance. What is an acceptance?
Agreeing to the offer.
Agreeing with the offer. That's all. But still it is defined. Very simple thing. Whenever there is an offer and the person signifies his assent, there is a promise, and whenever the assent is taken, it becomes a consideration and it is called as acceptance also. Yeah. So acceptance is not a very important definition as such, but you know what is acceptance? It is just your consent. When the offer is made, you have to give your acceptance, that is consent to it. Yeah. A very important phrase wherein an author is defined offer and acceptance as a matchstick and gunpowder. Yeah. Sir William Anson, he defines that an offer and acceptance is like a match and gunpowder. You know what is gunpowder? Basically this okay, basically just like your, say for example, your firecrackers has some powder in it, basically the one which is used to shoot or something, it is a inflammable substance. So an author defines the offer and acceptance as a matchstick and a gunpowder on the floor. So what does that mean? Once an offer is accepted, at any cost it has to be fulfilled. What do you mean by that?
When a
If a matchstick is lighted and it's put on the gunpowder, it will burn.
completely
It will burn, and no matter what, you cannot stop it from burning. The same way, a offer, once you accept, no matter what, you should perform. If not, it is called as breach of contract. Then only you will be going to the court of law and there will be the series of implications. But offer, once accepted, cannot be broken. The same way, when the matchstick is lit up and you take it to the gunpowder, it will burn. What is the time you have to stop from the gunpowder being burnt? You have all the time till it reaches the acceptance, that is gunpowder. So you can revoke the offer until the offer is accepted. So you can take back your matchstick before it is burnt. You got the relation, how it is being related? Yes, everyone clear? They will give you this phrase and they will tell you to explain it in your terms. But are you able to relate it? Yeah. If you understand the concept, you can write it. That is a second path. Yeah. So, legal rules regarding a valid acceptance. Acceptance can be given only by the person to whom the offer is made. We'll see the last case law and we'll wrap up for the day. Acceptance can be given only by the person to whom the offer is made. What do you understand by that?
Others can't interfere in.
Others can't interfere. Yes. So, say for example, I am offering something to you. you should alone accept and not a third party accepting on your behalf. Got this statement? So a case law for this was Boulton versus Jones. What happened in this case law? There were three parties. One was Mr. Jones. The other one was Mr. Brocklehurst. What was his name? Brocklehurst. Yeah. So the other one was Brocklehurst. The third party was Boulton. Yeah. There were three people. Jones was a creditor of Mr. Brocklehurst. Yeah. What do you mean by creditor? He had given some money to Mr. Brocklehurst and the Brocklehurst was yet to repay the money back. Now, one day Brocklehurst had a shop wherein he delivered some food items, basically. Yeah. So to do this business, he has taken money from Mr. Jones and he is yet to repay the money back. One day, Jones made a order for some food items. He wrote a letter to Mr. Brocklehurst to deliver him these items. On the same day morning, Mr. Brocklehurst had sold his business to a person called Mr. Boulton. And Jones was not aware of this transaction. He wrote a letter to Mr. Brocklehurst asking for those food or those goods. Now, because the Brocklehurst had sold his store to Mr. Boulton, who received the letter? So Boulton received the letter. So Boulton, with a good deed, someone's phone is ringing. No, it went on to a silent mode. Okay. So Boulton, with a good deed, he took the offer, he saw the order note, he delivered whatever Mr. You can put on to silent mode, it's okay. No singing for today. Okay. So Boulton, whatever the goods, whatever the order was, he delivered it to Mr. Jones. Yeah, there were three transactions. Jones had sent an order note for Mr. Brocklehurst to deliver certain goods. Brocklehurst on the same day had sold his business to Mr. Jones, Mr. Boulton, and Boulton replied back to Jones by sending the goods whatever he wanted. Yeah. Now, after a few days, Boulton wrote a letter to Jones asking for money. Jones denied paying the money. When asked why did you deny, he told Mr. Brocklehurst had to pay me certain money, and because for the want of that money, I placed an order so that I could set off between the goods and money. Now you supplied me the goods, I will not pay you the money. That was not my problem. Now tell me, can he get back the money?
Yes.
Sir, Jones made the offer to PH, not to me. So PH had to give his consent.
Yeah. So what are we, which is the point which we are studying? Acceptance can be given only by the person to whom the offer is made. So it was your problem by supplying the goods to the person who didn't even intend to offer it to you. So the court of law said you are not legally bound to pay the money back to, that is, you are not legally bound to ask the money from Mr. Jones. That was held in this case law. Yeah. Clear? Yeah. Everything clear? Any doubts? Whatever we discussed today? Any doubts? Any doubts? Yes, no? Doubt? Ask, it's okay. She had some doubt.
Last point you
Okay. So acceptance, so for example, I have an offer, I'm giving you an offer, you should only accept the offer and not someone else on your behalf. Now in this case, I had written a letter to Mr. Brocklehurst, but he had sold his business to Mr. Bolton, he supplied the goods. But my offer was for you and not for this person. So who could accept the offer? You could accept the offer and not this person. So acceptance has to be given to by the person to whom the offer is made and not by a third party. Yeah? No? So basically a third party should not come between two people. So when I offer something to you, you should only accept to the offer and not someone else on your behalf. So third party is not entertained in the offer. Any doubts?
So now Bolton can receive the amount from brokenness, right? For whatever the goods is delivered. Because he was supposed to pay the money to Jones.
That is valid. Now, because he has accepted the goods, if at all it was given by the same person, then it is okay. But here, he had not supplied. So it is, he can. Any doubt? No doubts at all? Sure? Sure?
But when some company is bought by some other company, don't they get doesn't the debt gets passed on to that company?
So what happens is the debt gets passed on. But was there a contract that instead of the debt you supply the goods? That was not there in the contract. And also the offer was made to someone else. Why did this person interfere in between? The debt gets passed on, no doubt. But who knows, you would have paid for the debt as well. Consideration would have been given. Doubt? No? Why are you... Nothing?
So if the offer was made in the name of that particular shop name, then he would have got back his money.
Yes. Here it was made in the name of Mr. Brocklehurst. Sure. Thank you.